name is Ashley Fleckenstein, and the topic for my project is Heterogeneity in Digital Preservation, the Constant Growth and Expansion of File Formats. So, the first thing we need to know is, what is heterogeneity? It sounds like a huge word, but I promise it's not. The definition is very simple and it all comes down to diversity. So heterogeneity can be applied to anything that is diverse. So if you're talking about the United States, you can say that it has a heterogeneous population because the people who live here are so diverse. If you have a digital archive that has photos, books, manuscripts, clothing, a huge plethora of different things, you have a heterogeneous collection because there's so much. So really it just means that there's a variety of different things within one group or population. And then we need to know, what is a file format? So a file format is the way that data is stored on a computer. Some well-known file formats include .jpg, .jpeg, .pdf, .doc, .docx, and etc. And there are thousands of file formats out there. These just happen to be some of the most common. So what happens when file formats are too diverse? So what happens when they're too heterogeneous? There are too many to sort through, and we don't have the technology yet that can read and extract information from every file type that is out there, and it can make files and data extremely hard to find and locate. So if you have stuff from this super well-known .jpg, well, there are hundreds of JPGs out there. But if you have stuff from something that is super, super, super unknown and is one of the small file formats in the thousands that are out there, that can be hard to locate as well because people don't know about it. So when it's too heterogeneous, there's a lot of different issues in sorting through them, finding things, locating things, and it makes it really difficult. So this is important because file formats are constantly being created and they're constantly going obsolete. So for every format that is being created, one is going obsolete. So we need to know, how do we access obsolete files? That's important. Because if you have a file format that goes obsolete, sometimes there's not a way to access it and view the file. And as digital archivists, if we have an archived item in our digital collection that's in a file format that is now obsolete, well, how do we fix it? How do we extract that data? How do we extract that information? And since there are thousands of file formats out there, another important question for us as digital archivists is, how do we choose what file format to use for our collections when there are so many that are going out of style, that are becoming obsolete? And also, it's important, the topic of heterogeneity in file formats is important because as digital archivists, we could be dealing with the thousands of file formats that are out there. There's no guarantee that we'll only be dealing with the common ones, like JPEG, JPG, Doc, DocX, etc. So those are some of the reasons that this is super, super, super important to discuss and talk about. So, what are some of the solutions to heterogeneity in file formats when it comes to locating files and making sure that they can be accessed in the future? So here are a few that I found that I think would be really good for this topic. So some people have talked about creating an online application that can read all different types of files and extract the metadata and information from them. This would be a good solution because there are thousands. So if there's one application that is created that people can access through the internet, that they can plug a file into and then have all that metadata extracted for them from that file so that they can access the information, see the file name, all the small bits of information from within that file, then even files that have gone obsolete or files that are being created in the future will be able to be read, and you'll get your information from them, which will also help if you have files in your archive that go obsolete, because you can plug them into that and get all the information extracted from them for you. And then another solution is that people are talking about is creating files that are adaptable. So this is a good solution if we can figure out how to do it, if people can figure out how to make files that are adaptable. When I talk about files that are adaptable, I mean files that are able to be changed from one thing to another. So if you have a PDF, for example, and for the sake of this example, we'll say that the PDF file format goes extinct. It's no longer used. Well, if you have files that are adaptable and we figure out how to do something like that, then your PDF can change into a JPEG or a JPG, something that is still being used today. So for small file formats that are not common, if we make them adaptable, we can easily change them into something like a PDF or something like a JPEG in the future if they were to go extinct. Okay, and there's one more. Using artificial intelligence to sort through files for us. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't artificial intelligence the root of a lot of issues? Won't that make our jobs go extinct? Won't that help get rid of our jobs? Well, I'm here to tell you that using artificial intelligence for something like this will not get rid of your job as a digital archivist. It will not affect your job. It will kind of just help make your job a lot easier. You wouldn't be using this in place of yourself. You wouldn't be using it to do anything except sort through files and extract information from files. So what I mean by this is you would insert whatever file you're looking for into the artificial intelligence system, whichever one is being used, and they will extract the information, they will extract the data for you, they will tell you everything about the file, and then the artificial intelligence can also sort through all the files super fast. So remember how at the beginning of this presentation I said that one of the issues with so many different formats was that there are essentially too many for us to be able to sort through on our own because there are thousands. Artificial intelligence can do that work for us, so we don't have to look for files that are lesser known, files that are pushed to the very back of a database. So it won't take us hours and hours and hours. We can have it done in seconds or minutes. So that's what the artificial intelligence would be used for. And the artificial intelligence can also extract the information just like an online application could So those are a couple different options for how these problems could be solved. In conclusion, although there are lots of file formats out there, people are trying to find ways to make them more accessible and make sure that obsolete files can be viewed in the future and make it easier to sift through the large amounts of file formats that are currently out there. And these are my references. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you so much.